Hey guys, it's Leah B from Prestige Veteran Medical Consulting. I'm a U.S. Army veteran, physician assistant, and former compensation and pension examiner. So I want to come on today and do a quick intro to a recording that I made recently with my good friend Garren Cohn, who is an accredited claims agent and the CEO of AVET Appeals. He assists veterans with their appeals for VA disability claims across the country. So we made such a great long video about different types of appeals that we decided to split it into segments because they were just several great little topics. So the following topic is about appeals to the board and how veterans can pursue that on their own or with the assistance of an accredited legal professional. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and please drop some comments, and thanks for watching.
So about this appeal to the Board of Veterans Appeals, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, this is interesting also. This is, and you can say it as a last resort, because it is prior to the Court of Appeals for Veterans Claims, but it can also be to your benefit. If at the time you file a BVA, select that lane, you're still going to get some choices. You're going to get what's called a docket number showing that your case is ready to be reviewed, or here's the date we plan on getting to your case. And then you make a selection while you're submitting this. Do you want to just send it to them like the HLR? You're not adding any evidence. You just want somebody, and they are very experienced attorneys at the Board of Veterans Appeals. I practice there. They're going to look at it and see if the agency of original jurisdiction, the regional office, as you may know, the vernacular there, they're going to see if they made an error. And they're going to go through it, and they give it a good look. That's why they're so behind, because these guys and gals, they are all board certified attorneys looking at the record. Again, selecting just the BVA decision route lane, you get some choices. One, Mr. BVA or Mrs. BVA, please look this over. They're going to look it over and issue a decision. All right. You can still, even after that, if it's a denial, you can still go back into that supplemental claim lane by introducing new and relevant evidence. Or you selected the BVA and you'd like a hearing. That's fine. They'll set you up. Again, we talked about this with the HLR, which was an informal review conference. You still get to talk to the person. Well, at the BVA, you're not just going to get to talk to them. It's going to be on the record, and there's going to be a transcript of the hearings. Get your ducks in a row before you choose this, because this is a lawyer at the Board of Veterans Appeals that's very busy. They're going to dedicate this small portion of time to you. You're going to have this video connection, and you just boom, 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 go through the evidence you say you want them to consider. And here's the neat thing. After that concludes, and the board member, the BVA board member, is going to tell you, you have 90 days. You have 90 days after the conclusion of the hearing to give them some new and relevant evidence. Yay! This is another bite at the apple. So number one, you're getting a fairly quick decision. That's what the whole AMA was designed to do, speed up the appeals process. Number two, you get to talk to the person. You get to see them. And I don't know about you, Leah, but I always, like with your patients, I know you telehealth and all that stuff. It means something, doesn't it, to actually be looking at the person you're addressing?
Yeah, totally. And I think I always say this when I talk to, veterans will ask me, how should they approach, they get very nervous about their CMP exams. And I don't ever coach people on what they should say or what they should do. But I say, look at it like it's a job interview. You're trying to have a rapport with the person. You can establish that, like you mentioned, on that face-to-face encounter. And, how was your day? Thank you for taking the time, whatever.
Can I throw something in there? Because that's great advice, people. These aren't just suggestions. That's advice. If you are a little queasy or uneasy about your CNP examiner, maybe it's just seeing a doctor. Maybe it's talking to the Board of Veterans Appeals person. Keep in mind, you're there to seek a benefit. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. If you're asked that pat question, how are you today? And you come back and say, fine, I'm having a good day. You set the tone right there. However, and this is absolutely true, if you're asked, how are you today? And you come back with, listen closely, some days are worse than others. Wow, you've just got the attention of the person you're talking to, whether it's a C&P examiner, Board of Veterans Appeals attorney.
Mhm.
Some days are worse than others. Absolutely true. Yes, Leah? All of us can say that every day of our lives.
Totally. Totally agree. I was asked that question yesterday randomly by a person I know, and I said, "What? I woke up today. I'm living, right?" But that's how I felt. It wasn't just, that's how do you really feel? Is it just an automatic response, or think about that question, right?
And if you say some days are worse than others, you've set the tone, you've set the table, you've already got the person you're speaking to, whether it's an examiner or whoever, a little back on the heels. Oh, this is a little different response than I thought. So you set the tone.
Sure.
And as Leah was inferring there, be at your worst. If you're having a good day, fine. But think back to yesterday or last week, maybe it was last month, when you had an awful time with the condition you're claiming. Get your head into that spot, even if you're having a good day. Leah, very much agree with you. You never lie, people. Don't embellish the truth.
Right.
But sometimes less is more. You have professionals, both in Leah's realm and in my realm, that can guide you. But don't ever shoot yourself in the foot, because you're the one that's asking for redress here. You're the one that's saying, you guys made a mistake. I want more, or I want service connection, whatever it might be. So don't shoot yourself in the foot. And just getting back to the BVA thing, because we can wrap this up. And again, what you people are seeing on the screen is gold. It just really breaks it down simple. But the BVA thing, you can have the administrative law judge. That's what they're called at the BVA. They're attorneys, but there's only a certain portion of them that are elevated to do these hearings. They're going to make that decision on their own, send it to you. You can still file a supplemental, again, need new evidence, or you choose the lane where you want that teleconference, that telemeeting. You can do it in person as well at a regional office. Those take a lot more time, just based on the logistics and the number of people that want to do it. So I encourage everybody to do what we're doing right now. Talk through the wire, through the camera, and have your hearing. Afterwards, you have 90 days, and keep an eye on the timeline. Because if you go 91 days, too late. Get it submitted as quickly as you can, but you have 3 months after your hearing before the BVA to give them some substantive evidence that is new, as we discussed, and relevant. I always, in my head, I want to use the word material, but they changed that. I don't know why. New and relevant evidence. And if you scroll to the last page there, Leah, and I'm so glad you sent this to me, because I just highlighted a couple of the areas on page 7. Folks, this is where the rubber meets the road, and this is where it really tells you exactly, there it is. What are my options if I request a decision review and still disagree with the decision? So regardless of the outcome of a supplemental claim, higher level review, or a BVA decision, boom, page 7 of this FAQ sheet tells you exactly what your continued redress is, with the important caveat that you must continuously prosecute your claim. If a timeline passes, whether it's outside of a year or whatever it might be regarding the particular issue, you have to start back from zero. But keep an eye on it, and here's your choices. And for you to post this is really good, because I know, look, it's pretty confusing. Sometimes it gets confusing for me, and I've been doing this a long time. But they really have made some improvements in the way that they're reviewing denials. And you can petition for redress with the VA almost. Well, you can all the way through to the Court of Appeals for Veterans Claims, which is another episode, and it's really selective when you get to that point. But this is just golden information, and I just want to stress again, new and relevant. How do you get new evidence? As Leah said, maybe a buddy statement from your wife, somebody goes to church with you, somebody you work with, that can attest to what your contention is. Yes, I saw Mary, and she did have a bad limp for over a year when I first met her. Something along those lines that puts evidence on your side of the scale. VA's evidence is usually just a C&P exam. So you're going to start piling positive evidence to shift it in your favor. If it's in equipoise, the grant goes to the veteran. However, I would say, it's terrible, I'm going to tell you straight up, about 8 times out of 10, they don't adhere to 3.102. So you want to always give them more evidence than they need to, boom, get the scale in your favor. Remember, I'm on the right here. You're on the right. So boom, get it in your favor.
So we're not going to go over this whole document today. We're going to post it for you guys to look at, but there's some good info in here on like, what are those form numbers that we talked about? You know, there's some estimates on timelines. I don't know how accurate these timelines are. Average time. Oh, timeliness goals are 125 days for HLRs, whether that happens or not. You know, I've seen some people get their decision in like a week turned around. And then I've seen some people, it's like 9 months. So there's an average, but
those are guidelines they're shooting for. And
Yep.
at the conference we recently attended, Leah, they came out with the numbers. I don't think anybody, and there was 300 attorneys and claim agents. I don't think anybody thought those numbers were legitimate. But the guy at the Board of Veterans Appeals appeared and was shooting some numbers out. I'm sure they're trying, but they can try harder. Okay, there's that VA Form 9. That's something that you need to do when you choose the BVA, Board of Veterans Appeals option. But folks, there's so much in here. It's broken down, and Leah has graciously listed this for you. The link, you know, well, you're posting this in live time,
So I'm going to post. So I just pulled it down so they can see our beautiful faces here, but we're going to post that link for you guys. And then there's a slew of hyperlinks in there that can take you to additional information. As Garren mentioned, there's those QR codes at the top that take you to additional information. And so hopefully this will demystify some of the, you know, difficulty with some of these options. And you can always reach out to Garren, whose information, I'm going to put the American Warrior Radio show podcast link, also AVET Appeals, if you'd like to have a consultation with Garren about your situation. And Garren,
very selective. You have to have a case that's winnable. If you stubbed your toe yesterday and you got out of service in 1980, there's not going to be any causal connection. I don't know. Maybe somebody like Leah could, because your hip was a flail joint or something. But generally speaking, you must have a well-grounded contention. That's that three-pronged process. Happen in service, bothering you today, and there's that nexus, which is what Prestige Veterans can help you with, that bridges the two together. So you got to have that before we go forward.
Well, all right. Well, thank you for your time today, Garren. I so greatly appreciate
pleasure.
You are an amazing partner to do video content with. You're so knowledgeable, and I just love you dearly. So thank you for your time. Okay, my buddy. Well, we'll have you back. We'll have you back.
Keep doing what you do, because you're wonderful at it. Thank you, Leah.
Okay, same. All right. See you soon, buddy. Thank you.